The comments section has spoken, and I have listened. Today on Till We Make It, let's talk about everything that needs to go into your demo package. I'm Mike Quackenbush, this is Till We Make It, and I'm going to break down the 7 things that needs to be in your demo package, including the exact online tool you're going to use to deliver it. I want you to make an account for a handy tool that won't cost you a dime. It's called Dropbox, and you can go to Dropbox.com to set up your account right now. They're not a video sponsor, they're just a great tool. Dropbox is a free file sharing service. So after we collect all of these 7 different files I'm going to describe to you, you're going to put them all in your Dropbox. You're going to name it your professional wrestling name, and then you're going to set it so you can share it with anybody. This includes somebody interested in hiring you, somebody that has already hired you, or any artists that need assets on your character in order to make posters, images, or anything else promotional. The very first file I want you to drag and drop into your Dropbox is your entrance music, and I want you to put it in there in a commonly used file format like MP3 or WAV. Try to avoid the really niche audio file formats which cannot be read by every system out there. You want the most easily read and easily used file formats so that no matter where you go, your entrance music plays faithfully. The second of these, I admit, might be a bit optional. Do you have an entrance video? A Titantron-like video that plays as you walk to the ring? Because if you do, I want you to drag and drop that into your Dropbox as well. And again, try to use the common file formats like an MP4 or an MOV. That's what you should put into your Dropbox of your entrance video. As it relates to a demo package, this Dropbox can function in the same way. And I want you to drag and drop one match of yours into this Dropbox. It needs to be something that you are proud of, and chances are, if it runs longer than 10 minutes, it is too long. Go for something bite-sized to include, and make sure it's in one of those common file formats. Matches that are too long, they just never get watched in their entirety. And you want to make sure that every bit of your performance is appreciated by whoever asked for access to your demo package. So you put your entrance music, and you've put your entrance video, and you've put one match, and now I want you to put one promo that you've cut into this demo box as well. Similarly, choose a common file format and try to keep the runtime down. I'm just not going to watch your 24-minute promo, but if you can keep it between 90 seconds and 3 minutes, that's very likely to be watched. Make sure it's a good representation of what you can do on the mic. If you don't have a promo recorded, don't worry. I recently made a video about having a promo prepared with some easy-to-follow guidelines that will help you to craft one that you could shoot with your phone the next time you're geared up. And then put it on your system, drag it into that Dropbox, and make it available as part of your demo package. And after those 4 things are in there, there are 2 photographs that I want you to put in. One is going to be a current posed promo picture of you. It should look like what you look like now. If you used to have a crazy beard, but now you're clean-shaven, a clean-shaven promo picture needs to be in there. If you used to weigh 105 pounds and now you weigh 240 pounds, a promo picture of you, the heavyweight, needs to be in that demo box. In addition to that one posed promo picture, I want you to choose one awe-inspiring action photo of you and put that in there as well. Make it something dynamic and appealing that makes you seem like an attractive hire. And the 7th and last thing that you're going to put into that Dropbox is your wrestling resume. And I know that seems like an outdated or anachronistic thing, but wrestling resumes do still exist, and many places that you could audition or try out for will require one. If you're looking for some ideas or guidelines on making a really attractive resume, I want you to know nothing is faster than a simple Google search, which will lead you to all kinds of resources on layouts for resumes which are attractive. And I think if your demo box already has a promotional picture of you in it, you don't have to also include one with the wrestling resume. But I do want to do a breakdown of what text you should include so that you get it right. At the very top of your wrestling resume, you want to lead with your real name and your stage name, especially if they're not the same, and make it clear which is which. For example, I might list my stage name and then differentiate by saying this is my legal name. Thereunder, I'm going to include things like my date of birth, my real height and weight, and anything else they need to know about arranging travel for me. So in some cases, I will include my passport number if it's an international company asking for my resume. Why might I put that there in advance? Because if any member of that company gets access to my demo box, and that's where they're pulling information to book my plane ticket, I want to make absolutely certain it is as easy as possible for them to hire and book me. Underneath that information, I think it's important to list which languages you speak. You cannot overemphasize this, especially in today's market. If you speak multiple languages, list them right there underneath your height and weight and date of birth. Underneath all that information on my wrestling resume are 2 lines, where I am billed from and where I am actually from, so that they have a sense of what major airport might be nearest to me before they commit to booking me. And then lastly in that top section, I list my preferred methods of contact. Always list at least 2. So if that for you is your phone number and your email address, list that. But always list 2 different methods of communication. You never know what the booking office prefers. And if you only list one option and they just don't use that, you're already out of luck. On your wrestling resume, follow all of that hard data with a paragraph that summarizes your career. When did you start? Where were you trained? Where have you gone since then? Are there any notable companies that you have worked for? Have you had a tryout with this organization before? Anything relevant to your wrestling career and this opportunity you want to make sure is included in that paragraph. Getting specific is good. Don't be vague. Use exact years, company names, and don't be afraid to name your trainer. Underneath that paragraph, you need a listing of all the companies that you've worked for. And if there's hundreds of them, don't list them all. Maybe pick 10. And you don't need to order them chronologically. Put the highest profile company at the top, or the companies most relevant to the job you are trying to get, and then descend in order. Here's an example. If you are sending this resume off to the WWE and you've worked for NXT, that needs to go at the top, even if chronologically that's the 80th organization you've worked for. So you've got your data, your summary, and then the companies that you've worked for. And the last section of your wrestling resume needs to be 3 or 4 references that the person interested in hiring you could call. And you need to vet those references before you list them on your resume. So there is no confusion, here's what I mean about vetting those references. Are the people you are listing really going to give you a good recommendation? Never assume the answer to that is, of course they will. Whether it's for my wrestling resume or any resume that I have to put together, I make certain I've got the approval and consent of everybody I list as a reference. And having that one-on-one communication with them will ensure that they will in fact give you a positive recommendation. If you're asking someone if it's all right to list them and their phone number and email address on your resume and they seem skittish or hesitant, take the hint. Skip them. Find somebody else who will endorse you when that phone call comes. One last thing about your wrestling resume as it appears inside that demo box, and I see wrestling resumes every day of the week. I want to tell you I see no extra value in adding a list of the seminars that you've attended or the names of the wrestlers that you have performed with. This has never, ever swayed my decision making about hiring somebody by looking at a list of those names. It is utterly meaningless. It's clutter that prevents someone from getting through your resume, and you want to declutter that. So don't be afraid to look online for great resources on layouts for resumes, and make sure you include your data at the top, that summary piece, the companies that you've worked for, ascending toward relevance, and then the 3 or 4 references that you have personally vetted before you click save and drag it into your Dropbox. This way, when a company expresses some interest in you, all you need to do is share that Dropbox link with them, and they're going to open it up to find those 7 things that we talked about. Your entrance music is already there. Your entrance video is already there. One of your matches and a promo that indicates to them what your work is like is at their fingertips. And if they do decide to hire you, they've got a promo pic they can send off to their graphic design team. They might have a dynamic action photo they can use in advertising to get their audience excited that you're coming to work. And then your wrestling resume is there with all the pertinent details, the data, the summary, the companies, and the references. That's what needs to be in your demo package. And if you happen to include something else in your demo package, whether it's hosted on Dropbox or it's something more analog, I'd like to know this. What else do you choose to include? And would you drop that in the comments below? That's where the conversation on this topic is bound to happen. It is exactly because of the dialogue we have in the comments section I heard from so many of you that asked me to cover wrestling resumes. So I hope this video was exactly what you are hoping for. I also hope that you will share this channel with other aspiring pros, no matter how far along on their personal journeys they may happen to be. You keep being awesome. I will keep making the videos, and we'll keep on faking it.